Previously on Higurashi When They Cry console arcs. As everyone in the area impatiently waited for Mion to say something, she reached out and grabbed something by her bedside. A deck of playing cards. From the club, I assume. The nurse's shoulders immediately began to droop, as if she'd realized something. Unable to comprehend the situation, Wushi and Nakasaka turned to face one another.
みんな、いい？始めるよ。
Mion definitely said that, as she peered around the vacant look in her eyes. Mion definitely said everyone. The only people here right now were Ushi, Akasaka, and the nurse. However, it was quite obvious that she wasn't referring to the people in the room when she said everyone. The everyone that Mion was speaking to were nowhere to be seen.
さとこちゃんのおじさんが帰ってきたんじゃ。
Uncle? After that one unexpected word, Rika-chan looked down, and her shoulders began to tremble. Nevertheless, Reina moved in closer and crouched down to look her in the eyes. I recognized that she was doing this gesture to alleviate Rika-chan's tension.
さとこちゃんのおじさん、帰ってきたのかな？かな？
But Rika-chan remained silent, neither confirming nor denying anything.
そうですよね。どうせあなたたちにとっては人事ですし、だからそうやって同情したふりして犠牲者気取って全部ふり、お芝居なんでしょ。そうやっていつまでもうじうじとやってればいいのです。とりあえずかわいそうかわいそうって口だけで念仏みたいに唱えてれば満足でしょうよ。
I clenched the handle of the shears in my fingers and put all my strength into them.
バカなことはやめてください。本当にやってみせることないじゃないですか。
Well, you kind of put the idea in his head, honestly.
冗談でカッコつけるならマジ怒りますよ。
俺は死ぬ気なんかねえよ。今死んでたまるかよ。サトコが苦しんでるのに放り出して死ねるかよ。
ならどうしてですか。むちゃくちゃです、ケイちゃん。
俺の本心が見たいんだろ。俺はこの程度の傷で死なねえ。サトコを助けなきゃならねえから俺は死なねえ。
I opened my eyes for a moment. Shion was trembling as she gazed at me in disbelief.
前原さん、シオンさん、今日のところはおいとましましょうね。
On Irie's suggestion, we reluctantly left the Hojo house. Teppei's boorish laugh echoed as though to mock us. In that moment, for the first time in my entire life, I knew what it meant to hate another person. All I could think about was wishing death upon the person I hated. My heart was filled with hatred, regret, despair, and indescribable sorrow.
前原さんには真実を打ち明けます。サトコちゃんがあのような環境に置かれながらそれを排除する努力をしない理由、それは贖罪なんです。
Atonement.
サトコちゃんはサトシ君がいなくなってしまったことを自分のせいだと思っています。だからおじとの生活を耐え忍ぶことで罪に対する罰を受けていると考えてしまっているんです。
Insane. Now that Satoshi has disappeared, that bastard can just do whatever he pleases? Why should Satoko have to shoulder that sin? She didn't do anything.
そんなことをしても誰も喜ばない。
Suddenly, Shion cried out.
誰一人喜ばない。サトシ君がいれば、サトシ君さえ。
Huge teardrops scattered as Shion began sobbing. couldn't think of anything to say to her.
話が脱線してしまいましたが、サトシ君の話はシオンさんに聞いた方がいいかもしれません。
え？
私よりシオンさんの方がよくご存知だと思います。
シオンが？
Irie gave me a gentle look as he nodded.
シオンさんとサトシ君はとても仲が良かった。ある意味、そうですね。お互いを大切に思い合う関係。だからこそ妹のサトコちゃんに対しての思い入れもきっと強いんでしょう。
Shame that wasn't the case in some of the earlier main arcs. Shion and Satoshi were. So as far as Shion was concerned, Satoko was her beloved partner's one and only little sister. Then, was that why she was trying so desperately hard to help Satoko?
血
Reina was staring at the blood on the tip of my fingers. I never washed them off. They're still covered in blood. Then, before I had a chance to say something, Reina muttered to herself.
あいつの血も赤いのかな。
Yes.
レナもお別れは悲しい。けどね、さよならなの。
待てよ。一体何があったんだよ。なんで何も言ってくれないんだよ。どうして一人で抱え込むんだよ。
Feeling restless, I grabbed Reina by the shoulders at full strength. Reina looked up at the ceiling without changing her expression.
さよならなんて言うなよ。さよならなんて。
My throat was tightening, and tears were beginning to leak out. I was about to suffocate. I couldn't bear it any longer, so I fell down onto Reina. Reina gently stroked my hair like a baby. Then she whispered softly in my ear.
私、鉄平を殺すね。
And so it continues. Greetings, my name is Neosekken, and welcome back to my Let's Play of the Higurashi When They Cry console arcs. I'm not looking forward to the direction that this arc is heading. At all. Even if it's against Teppei of all people, I don't want Marina to murder anybody. I just want her to kidnap people, or that she finds cute, if anything. But alas, that's not the timeline that we're in right now, is it? Anyway, there really isn't much. I don't really think there's really much I can say at this point, other than, well, let's just see how this goes, I guess. So let's hop to it, shall we? And hope that this doesn't end up being too heartbreaking for everybody involved. Ah, shit, I forgot to read that. The next morning, Reina wasn't at our usual meeting place. At first glance, it seemed like a fairly trivial detail. But a thought came to me. That the gears had started turning. Even though Reina wasn't here, I could still hear her voice echoing through my ears. I'm going to kill Teppei. I'm going to kill Teppei. Kill. Kill. Reina's voice continued echoing. Guided by those words, I pressed onward and made my way to school on my own. That happy face Reina is making is just making this worse for me. A lot worse. I found the usual morning scene inside the classroom. Reina was already in her seat, chatting gleefully with Rika-chan.
明日のお祭り楽しみだね、リカちゃん。僕はレナみたいにのんきではいられないのです。
I share your mood, Rika. Full stop.
準備と予行練習でパターン9のグロッキー状態なのです。
Well, except for the groggy part.
リカちゃんの巫女さん姿ってほんと可愛いんだよね。今から想像しても可愛すぎるよ。
Reina stroked Rika-chan's head with an enchanted look in her eyes.
このままレナにお持ち帰りされてしまいそうなのです。
I wish that was all she was plotting.
リカちゃんなかなか鋭いよ。
Reina was getting along with Rika-chan. She smiled and called out good morning as soon as she noticed me. I couldn't discern anything from Reina's expression, just a generic smile on her face. I suddenly felt a sharp jab on my back. When I turned around, I saw Mion standing there. Hello.
おはよう、ケイちゃん。
おはよう。さ。
Mion sat down in her seat to evade my words, then said sorry as she clapped her hands together.
なんだよ、いきなり。なんかしたのか、俺に。
She jabbed you.
ケイちゃん、本当に気づいてない？
Mion examined my expression more closely.
そんなことを言われても、全然心当たりとかないし。
そっか。
After muttering that, Mion's expression began to cloud over for a moment. But her face quickly changed back to something brighter.
なら、内緒にしとこうっと。
おいおい、そこまでもったいつけといて、そりゃないだろう。なんだよ。気になるな。
大したことじゃないんだけどさ、今日待ち合わせに遅れちゃったでしょ、私。
ああ、そういえばそうだよな。
I didn't think much of it until Mion brought it up. I was so concerned about Reina that I completely failed to notice Mion wasn't at our regular meeting place.
ごめんごめん。家出る前にちょっとグズグズしちゃってさ。それだけならよかったんだけど、時間割勘違いしちゃって全然違う教科書詰めてたんだよね。私ドジだよね、ほんと。
Don't you mean drop the textbook?
気づいたのが家出てからでさ、あれと思って引き返して詰め直したもんだから、待ち合わせの時間に遅れちゃってさ。
Mion, why are you trying so hard to lie to me? You never make such an obvious mistake. Based on her rough appearance, I could tell she wasn't feeling insecure about her punctuality. She went out of her way to make up this big excuse, even though I didn't ask. Did she have some sort of ulterior motive? Besides, Mion has been late for our meetings a couple times before. So why would she only bother to apologize for it today? At first glance, it seems like a fairly trivial difference. A trivial detail. A trivial change. A second gear started turning.
あれ？ケイちゃん、目赤いけど。
Yes, from all the crying that I did before I started this whole recording session. For the tragedy that's about to take place. Figured it'd be more efficient to get the tears out of the way now and not have to shed them later, you know?
っていうか血走ってる感じ。
I cried really hard.
さては、夜更かしでもしたな。
That too.
そうか？面白い深夜番組あったからさ、ついつい。
So interesting it made me piss from my eyes all night long. I instinctively reacted with a lie. I absolutely couldn't tell Mion about what I discussed with Reina at the garbage mountain yesterday. For a second I thought that read Garage Mountain.
その上買ったはいいけど、放置してた漫画見つけてさ、朝まで読み続けちまった。
じゃあ徹夜なんだ。ずいぶん面白いストーリーだったってことだね。
いや、そうでもないな。月並みな話だった。よくある話。
よくある話ねえ。
Mion continued prodding me. It felt like I was on the wrong side of an interrogation. Maybe I was just overreacting. Still, the burden of keeping secrets from my friends weighed heavily on me. I was feeling abnormally sensitive, afraid that I might just scream at a moment's notice.
さ、昨日のことなんだけど。
昨日のことって何？
ミオンに言っとかなきゃなって。
さっきから何？お互いもったいつけるのなしにしようよ。仲間なんだからさ。
And in that moment, I suddenly felt silent. I felt a stinging pain in my back. Reina was watching. Yes, I can see that, very intensely. Her eyes were looking in my direction, with a piercing gaze.
言おうと思ってたのは昨日のことだけど、俺ミオンにきついことばっかり言い過ぎたなって。
いいよもう。私だってケイちゃんにひどいこと言っちゃったし。それに私って一晩寝ると忘れちゃうタイプなんだよね。
なんかミオンらしいな。
Mion pleasantly shrugged her shoulders and laughed with me. It felt like the weight on my heart was finally getting a little lighter. Now, if only the gaze piercing into my back would lessen a little bit.
ねえケイちゃん、私に言いたいことってそれだけ？
So you were fishing for something from me.
他に言うことないかな。
So, Mion sensed something after all? I froze on the spot, as if hit by a magic spell. It felt like slow motion as Mion approached me, step by step.
ねえケイちゃん、私たち仲間だよね。
Only the best.
隠し事は一切なしだよね。
Depends.
だって仲間なんだからさ。仲間でしょ？
Not sure what to say here. I don't like it, though. The sound of me swallowing vividly echoed. I let out a quick yelp after receiving a pat on the shoulder. Reina's head was slightly tilted as she stared curiously in my direction.
レナ。
Reina quickly turned away, and then laughed softly as she looked at Mion.
なんで笑ってるのレナ。
Mion asked that with a sullen expression.
だってみーちゃんもお目目赤いんだもん。夜更かしかな
With that one comment, the string on tension wrapped around us finally came loose. Mion let out a huge yawn, then began to laugh.
そうなんだよね。昨日は毎年恒例の打ち合わせ会があったから、眠くて。
You see, Reina, this is why I don't want you to go murder Tepe and depart from our lives, because you just have this unique ability to just kill the tension in the room and bring everybody back to a semblance of normalcy and happiness. Why would you deprive that from us? I mean, hell, I could make the argument that if anything, Satoko could definitely use that too whenever she's fortunate enough to come to class and hang out with you guys, you know? Give her something positive to look forward to alleviate from her piss-poor situation, you know what I mean? So don't do it. Please. I beg you.
綿流しの打ち合わせ会ってやつか。
打ち合わせ会なんて名ばかりの宴会だよ。町会の連中が集まって朝までどんちゃん。毎年やってるお祭りだもん。今さら小難しい打ち合わせなんてないし。
まさかお前も飲んだのか？未成年のくせに。
なわけないじゃん。口うるさい小獣みたいなこと言っちゃっても。
You were drinking though, I'm sure. Because last I checked, you definitely had some alcohol in other timelines, if I remember that correctly. Caught up in Mion's boisterous laughter, I began laughing along with her without even realizing it. Reina and Rika-chan joined in, laughing together happily. Now if only the trap master were here, like our usual everyday routine. But for me right now, reality just didn't have that sweet, fluffy cotton candy feel to it. It had a gritty feel that had all my senses on edge, thanks to the incident last night. Seeing those two eyes, spilling fresh blood, following disturbing shadows through the mountain of garbage, quietly entering a secret lair.
打ち合わせ会だったってことは、兄ちゃん昨日、徹夜したってことだね。え？毎年お片付けに朝まで手こずるって言ってたもんね。そうだよね。よね。
Neon struggled to find a reply to Reina's conjecture. Her face quickly turned defensive, and both her eyes shifted into a sharp glare. But Reina didn't flinch. She just looked down at Neon. At first glance, it seemed like a fairly trivial disagreement. A trivial detail. A trivial change. A trivial disagreement. The 2 years became entangled in reverse direction, at a speed that nobody could possibly stop. And then, Reina's voice continued echoing in my ears. I'm going to kill Teppei. I'm going to kill Teppei. Kill. Kill. Reina let out a huge yawn, then began to laugh.
実はレナもね、昨日は夜更かしさんなんだ。
Well, how about that? All three of us were staying up all night last night. Hey, Rika, were you also doing an all-nighter? Wait. She did say she was groggy, so yes.
みんなおそろだね。
そんなことで足並み揃えてどうすんのさ。
だってみんなとおそろで嬉しいんだもん。もう。
Wonder if Satoko had an all-nighter too. Probably, living in that house. As I watched Reina play around with an innocent smile on her face, I thought back to last night.
あの北条哲平って男ね。レナにとっても敵なの。
敵？
Reina gently nodded, then casually picked up a stuffed animal sitting inside the station wagon. It must be a really old stuffed animal. It's completely filthy, and it's falling apart.
このぬいぐるみ、可愛らしい？
まあ。男の俺が言うのもなんだけど、可愛いと思うけど。
そうだよね。やっぱり、レナが変なのかな。
Reina gently stroked the head of the stuffed animal, then immediately began strangling it. The stuffed animal's face warped in an unsettling manner as she crushed its neck.
変だよね。レナにはどうしても可愛く見えないの。
レナ？そんなに力込めたら壊っちまうぞ。
だってね、このぬいぐるみ。
あの女がくれたものなんだもん。
What, you mean Teppei's whore? Reina put every ounce of strength in her body into it as she said that. The head of the stuffed animal was torn out and rolled to the ground. Reina hatefully clenched the remains of the stuffed animal in her hands.
こんなもので取り入ろうとするなんて。汚い女。汚らわしい。
Reina threw the remains of the stuffed animal away, like she was trying to rid herself of something dishonorable. And then she wiped her hands on the hem of her skirt.
あの女って誰なんだ？
名前を口にしたくもない。 口が曲がりそうになるから。
I'm willing to bet the rest of your face is already looking deformed right now, through sheer rage. In the face of Reina's cold strength, all I could do was keep breathing.
本当はね、さとこちゃんのためだけじゃないの。鉄平を殺す理由が、レナにもあるの。あいつはね、あの女と組んで、うちの家族をめちゃくちゃにした。
As she said that, Reina was wiping her hands so quickly and forcefully that they were turning red. Even in the dark, I could see a sharp, foreboding light glistening in her eyes.
せっかくお父さんも前向きになってくれて、二人で一から出直そうって時だったのに。
Reina bit her lip and slowly began to speak. It was the story of her family, that she desperately tried to keep hidden behind a smile. A woman that Reina refused to even refer to by name approached Reina's father and deceived him to wrest large sums of money and property from him. The woman was actually Tepe's companion, and the two of them were collaborating behind the scenes. As fate would have it, the woman suffered a mysterious death right as Reina noticed what was going on. Yeah, that's right, she did die this mysterious death, didn't she? Thanks to that, the damage she was able to inflict was cut off before Reina and her father were forced to the streets. However, the scars left on Reina's family cut deep, casting dark shadows across Reina's heart. The hem of her skirt was turning red from traces of fresh blood. One small scratch grew and spread. But even so, Reina wouldn't stop moving her hands. How much of a difference was there, really, between a wound that gnaws at your heart and a wound that bruises your body? Well, the wound that bruises your body is likely to make you bleed to death more than the wound inflicted on the heart, if you really want to get technical about it. A visible wound eventually heals over time, but an invisible wound can run so deep that it may last forever. Even many years later, a chance encounter can suddenly remind you that your bright red wound remains open.
あいつらは害虫なの。人が必死になって耕した畑に土足で入り込んで踏みにじって、綺麗に咲いてるお花とか、やっと実をつけた植物とかを食い荒らしてめちゃくちゃにする。それだけじゃない。あいつらはいつの間にか身内みたいな顔をして住み着くの。道場とか、いやらしい芝居で人を騙して寄生して巻き上げて。寄生虫だよ。よくも
Rub.
レナだけならまだよかった。私の不幸はお社様のたたりだもの。当然の報いだって我慢できる。でもさとこちゃんまで不幸になるのは許せない。絶対に許せない。絶対。
Suddenly, Reina stopped moving her hands.
そうだったんだ。やっぱりそうだったんだよ。
レナ
ね、夢で見たの。8本の手。あれは害虫を駆除してくれる雲。
8本の手？
Reina nodded with a vacant smile, still lost in a dreamlike state. Thinking about it now, the 8 hands that Reina mentioned. Reina's own hands, of course, and probably the hands of 2 more people who joined in on the plan. But who did the last 2 hands belong to? Or Ishiro-sama? I don't know.
お社様の手だよ。
Oh, wait, I guess right. Reina muttered just that. Rustle. Something made a noise off in the darkness. I felt a chill run across my back. In that moment, I didn't have the courage to look behind me.
ケイチくん、もうお別れしなきゃだね。だから、さようなら。
だからさよならとか言うな。お前が一人で抱えてきた傷とか悩みとか、全部分かってあげられないかもしれない。けど、俺に何か手伝えることは本当にないのか？支えるとか守るとか、そういうかっこいいこと言えないけどさ。でも、少しでもレナの気晴らしくらいにはなれたらと思ってる。話を聞くくらいしかできないかもしれないけど、
ありがとう。ケイチくんの気持ちはすごく嬉しいよ。けどね、人殺しなんてしたら、もう普通の毎日には戻れないの。何かを得るためには同等の。それ以上の代償を払わなければ得ることはできない。だからレナは大切なものを守るためにみんなとお別れするの。さようなら、ケイチくん。
You really don't have to do this, you know. Reina turned to me and smiled as hard as she could, with huge eyes full of tears. Then she turned back, opened the door, and disappeared into the darkness without a moment of hesitation. At that moment, when I was sitting alone in a field of garbage, I could only watch Reina's back as she stood tall and pressed onward. Even now, after all this time had passed, all I could do was stare at Reina's back. After class, Reina said that she couldn't stay for club activities, and was about to leave the classroom on her own.
それじゃあ、レナはお先に帰るね。
また明日ね、レナ。
気をつけて帰るのです、レナ。バイバイミーちゃん。バイバイリカちゃん。
レナ。
さようなら、ケイチくん。
Reina turned to me with a pleasant smile as she left the classroom. It wasn't too late. If I held my hand out, I could still reach her. But I couldn't do it. Then you're destined for failure, boy! As a result, Reina's back got smaller and smaller. And then, she disappeared completely from my sight. Perhaps we'll end up destroying the things we can't repair with our own hands. Seeing Reina leave filled me with despondence. I sat back down on my desk and buried my head. Reina entrusted me with the details of her plan, and it drifted through my mind so many times. But in my dreams, I was taking action. That unforgettable feeling ran through my subconscious visions, but I wanted more. I wanted to kill myself. Once again, I saw my true feelings. I'm going to kill Tepe. I'm going to kill Tepe. Kill. Reina's words continued echoing on my ears, and my heart was racing. I wanted to kill him. I want to kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Kill. Want to kill. Kill. Want to kill. 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 Want to kill. Kill. Want to kill. 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 Want to kill. Kill. Want to kill. Kill.
ケイちゃん。
An unexpected voice called out my name, but calling out my name brought me back. Definitely is unexpected. What are you doing here? When I looked up, I saw Shion standing there with a haggard expression. Don't you have school or a day job to be attending to right now? How can you be here? It seemed that a long time had passed without me realizing it. Mion and Rika-chan have apparently already gone home.
私、もうどうしたらいいのか。もうわからなくて。
Shion made a painfully distorted face as she clutched her hair.
シオン、どうしたんだよ。わざわざこんなとこまで。
Shion let out a deep sigh, then collapsed into the seat next to me.
さとこがまた、やった。
またやった？何かあったのか？
ようやく、沖宮の生活相談所が重い腰を上げてくれたのですが。
She called the center?
さとこは今度も、追い返してしまったんです。
Oh. Turn them away. That's right.
強情というか、頑固というか。さとこはとても意志の強い子、とでも言うんですかね。
ってことは、今度もまた同じことの繰り返しだってのか？
Unfortunately, yes. Shion responded with a helpless nod.
これでまた、さとこへの風当たりは、さらにエスカレートしてしまうでしょうね。
そんなのって。
Shion let out a self-tortured laugh. And in the end, it was mixed with tears.
いっそ、殺してやりたい。
I want to kill him. Kill, 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 kill! A grievous cry erupted from the depths of Shion's heart. Her words resonated vigorously with the rage inside my chest. That was it. At this point, I finally realized it. All options other than murder had already been exhausted.
お前、サトコのために命を張れるか？
え？
Shion gazed at my face in astonishment.
答えろ。その返答次第で、俺はお前に全てを打ち明けるつもりだ。
Shion shook her head a little, like she didn't understand what I was getting at. I collected all my thoughts as I gazed at Shion. I won't turn away any longer. So, if you feel the same way I do, just nod quietly.
はい。
Shion muttered that in a timid voice, while giving me a stern nod. Then, Shion's expression gradually regained its vigor.
もちろんです。さとこは、さとしくんから預かった大切な妹ですから。
We stared each other down to measure the strength of our will. And then, we both vigorously nodded to each other.
よし。シオン、俺と一緒に来てくれ。
Here we freaking go. I took Shion and headed to the garbage mountain. I thought about Reina sitting alone in her secret room, surrounded by a mountain of garbage, and it made me walk faster. This is the path I walked with Reina last night. But this time, I feel no helplessness or shame. I promise not to look away any longer. There's only one thing I see now. Reina's delicate back, trembling in solitude, struggling to fight off incredible anxiety. Hold on, Reina. I'll catch up with you soon. You're not alone. I'll stand beside you. Let's turn and face this together. Society, morals, sin and punishment. Everything.
どうしてこんなところに？ 私、なんだか怖いです。
心配するな。俺を信じろ。
Shion looked a little hesitant, but she quietly nodded.
大丈夫。別に地獄へ連れて行くんじゃないんだからさ。
当然です。もしもケイちゃんが襲ってきたら、私マッハでケイちゃんの首の骨折ってとっとと帰りますから。
おいおい。
この程度の護身術は基本中の基本ですよ。
Shion finally had a smile on her face. Please don't. I like having myself completely intact. I felt relieved and smiled back at her. The two of us held hands. I pulled Shion by the hand as I ascended the mountain of garbage. Then, we quietly approached the station wagon.
レナ、いるのか？
I felt an indication of someone breathing inside.
レナ、いるんだろ？
Reina quietly hid herself and wouldn't reply.
レナ、そのままでいいから聞いてくれ。お前は律儀だからさよなら言っちゃったし、もう圭一君には会えないとか思ってるんだろうけど、俺は決めたぜ。俺、お前の後ろについていって離れないから。お前が拒否して逃げ続けるなら、俺はひたすらずっと尾行してやる。人に見られたくないようなお宝ショットとかバッチリ収めてやるからな。そんなの嫌だろ？
Faint sounds creaked out from within the station wagon. I could picture Reina desperately shaking her head.
顔見せてくれよ、レナ。
The door of the station wagon slowly opened. Then, Reina bashfully tilted her head up to reveal her face.
レナ。
That doesn't look bashful. I ran up to Reina.
もう、圭一君はしつこいんだね。
Reina laughed as she said that, but she froze the next moment when she caught a glimpse of Shion.
どうして、しーちゃんがいるの？
Reina's eyes carefully fixated on Shion.
レナ、このことで話が。
Reina put a hand on the door to cut me off. Bang. Just barely in time. I managed to stop the door from closing, but I had to sacrifice my right hand to do it.
大丈夫、圭一君？
It's only a flesh wound.
うわ、直撃。
Shion calmly threw in an accurate verbal jab.
いきなり閉めるか、靴。
ごめんね、圭一君。レナ、圭一君の手全然見えなくって。挟まってるなんて思わなかったから。
Reina looked like she was on the verge of tears as she grabbed my right hand and tried breathing on it.
痛いの痛いの飛んでけ。痛いの痛いの飛んでけ。
I couldn't help but laugh out loud.
圭一君？痛すぎておかしくなっちゃったかな？
Not as crazy as you, I'm sure. No. It was just that seeing Reina react like her usual innocent self. Made me feel relieved. I cleared my throat, then turned to face Reina once again.
レナ、聞いてくれ。俺はお前と同じ気持ちだ。そしてシオンも俺たちと同じ気持ちだ。
Reina made a sideways glance toward Shion. Shion looked back toward me with a perplexed expression.
昨日ここでお前が俺に話してくれた計画だけど、俺にも協力させてくれ。
Reina's eyes opened wide and wandered in disbelief.
いや違うな。協力するのはお前の方だ。やるのは俺だ。お前は俺に手を貸してくれ。
どういうこと？
俺はこの手で 北条哲平を殺す。
圭一君。
ケイちゃん。
Shion let out a brief shriek, then stared at me in disbelief.
どういうことなんですか今の。
聞いての通りだよ、シオン。俺は哲平を殺すつもりだ。昨日お前に言った言葉に嘘はない。俺は聡子を救い出すために戦う。どんな手段を使っても必ず聡子を救い出す。
でも、だからって。
哲平を殺す以外の手段があるっていうのか？ないよ。俺もレナもその事実から逃げるのはやめたんだ。
But it isn't a fact, though.
もう時間がないんだ。俺はやるよ。
こんなの。こんなの。
Shion's shoulders drooped and began lightly trembling. She bit her lip and furrowed her eyebrows. Oh, God. Well, if Teppei wasn't fucked before, he certainly is now. Now that we got deranged Shion coming out of the woodworks. As Shion raised her head, she burst out laughing with all the force in her body.
こんなのって、素敵です。素敵すぎます。3人の気持ちがぴったり同じだなんて。嬉しい。この思いだけで、あの虫けらを呪い殺せそうです。
If only that were true.
レナも嬉しい。レナ、おそろ大好き。
I'm not feeling happiness nor love. Only fear. And dread. And sadness. Their laughter echoed throughout the mountain of garbage. An orchestra of loathing. A trio of murderous intent. I entrusted myself to that beautiful sound.
レナ、ケイちゃん、もちろん私も協力します。
シオンの気持ちは分かった。けどこれは究極の選択だ。焦らずじっくり考えてくれていい。
Shion wore a courageous smile as she stood up straight and approached us.
しーちゃん。
どうなんです？あなたたちの計画に私を加える気はあるのですか？
Rena turned her eyes toward me.
俺たちの未来を守るために俺たちは戦うんだ。聡子のためだけじゃない。レナ、お前の幸せだって俺が守ってみせる。俺を信じてくれるなら力を貸してくれ。自分の未来を諦めるな。この手で未来を掴み取るんだ。
Rena smiled and nodded at me. Then she and Shion placed their hands on top of mine. 3 overlapping hands. We all silently nodded. Then, we all raised our hands toward the sky together.
圭一君、ありがとう。
さよならは撤回してくれたよな、レナ。
Rena gave me a powerful nod and held my right hand tight.
痛て。
ごめん、痛かった圭一君。
なんのこれ式でしょ？
痛いの飛んでけ。痛いの。
Shion began to mutter like she was adding her strength to Rena's spell.
痛いの飛んでけ。痛いの飛んでけ。
Suddenly, all 3 of our voices overlapped.
痛いの飛んでけ。北条哲平の怒り飛んでけ。どっかに飛んでちまえ。
This is gonna be even bloodier than usual. I can already tell. Oh boy. Inside our secret lair, we made an oath to pledge our sinful resolve. We held each other's hands and locked eyes. Then we deeply nodded to one another, determined to fight for our future. The sunset enveloped the garbage mountain. The surrounding area faded from orange to vermilion, then a deep red, like an omen for our terrible blood-stained world. Just as we strain our world with loathsome sentiment, everything around us will be dyed more and more red. A chilling silence filled the room. I found myself fidgeting and feeling uncomfortable, even though I was in my own room. Reina sat by the window and gazed out at the village as night fell. We all agreed to meet at my house to put our plan together. But even though it was well beyond our arranged meeting time, Shion still hadn't arrived. Shion wasn't planning on betraying us at the last minute, was she? Doubt plagued my mind. I scratched my hair in an attempt to shake it off. Dull pain coursed through the back of my head, and the strange feeling slowly dissipated.
紅茶冷めちゃうから早く飲めよ。
They're all deep in the syndrome now. Well, and it's only gonna get deeper.
母さん、親父と出かけてるからな。見よう見まねで俺が入れてみたんだけど、多分味は問題ないと思うぞ。親戚が送ってくれたやつなんだけど、東京じゃ結構人気あるんだってさ。
Reina didn't respond to anything. She just pointed her eyes out the window and stayed silent. I sat quietly, drinking tea alone like an idiot. Even though I drank and drank, it never quenched my thirst.
しーちゃん、遅いね。
Reina muttered only that.
そうだな。
Again, we fell silent. Reina slowly licked her dry lips. I made a moist, alluring sound. Even though I wasn't sure I could stand, I rose to my feet. At the same time, Reina vigorously turned back.
どこに行くの？
I flinched the moment Reina's piercing gaze fixated on me.
ちょっと外見てくる。もしかしてシオンのやつ迷ってるかもしれないしさ。
しーちゃん、ケイチくんの家に来たことあるでしょ？
ああ。
Reina continued staring at me as she came closer and closer.
もしかしてしーちゃん、おじけづいちゃったのかな？かな？
Reina seemed like she was looking right through my heart as she said that.
まさかシオンが約束破るとは思えないぞ。
しーちゃんがケイチくんが思ってるような人じゃなかったら？
何言ってんだよ。仲間疑うなんてどうかしてるぞレナ。
レナ、ケイチくんのことは信じてるよ。
おう。
だから絶対裏切らないでね。
Reina grabbed my arm and squeezed it tight.
わかった。約束する。
絶対だよ。
Reina filled her hand with incredible strength as she squeezed me. So much that it hurt.
絶対。
Struggling to mutter a response, I nodded to her several times.
レナも絶対ケイチくんを裏切らない。もしも約束を破ってしまったら、今度はレナがお社様にお仕置きされちゃうから。
Meanwhile, I can picture Hanyu not sitting, but jumping frantically in the corner of the room, screaming at you, no, I won't punish you. Hau. After saying that, Reina gave me a sickeningly sweet smile. When Reina released my arm, Wait, how was Reina's thing? I think it was more like, ow, 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 like a small dog. Moving on. When Reina released my arm, there were clear red marks on the spot where she was holding me. It looked like a stamp, and it felt warm and tingly. Suddenly, I thought that this mark would stay with me for the rest of my life. After this, we're going to put our terrible plan into motion. Assuming that we're able to carry out this plan successfully. However, our complicity in the crime will stay with us for the remainder of our lives. Our entire relationship would fall apart if someone were to ever reveal our secret. We'll be constantly watching and warning one another to avoid treading the road to ruin. That tense atmosphere will likely follow us until we die, which is why you really shouldn't do this. A staggeringly long time, holding on to it for an entire lifetime. A mark engraved so deep that it would last forever. I wonder if my heart can endure that without breaking.
圭一くんがもしも転校しちゃったとしても、レナは会いに行くよ。圭一くんがレナのこと忘れてしまわないように。
Reina said that as though she'd read my dispirited mind.
でもね、心配しなくてもいいんだよ。
心配なんかしてないって。
そうだよね。だって、ひなみ沢の人間は、たとえ村を出て行ったとしても、必ず戻ってくるから。不思議だよね。どこに逃げても、必ず引き戻されるの。
The sound of me swallowing my spit vividly echoed across the room.
だから、心配しなくていいんだよ、圭一くん。
Reina's words went deep into my heart. There's no turning back. Reina's eyes were fixated on me like she'd never let go. Nothing could turn them away. I can no longer run away. My retreat has already been cut off. I'm already crawling down this road. It's time to walk on my own 2 feet. Suddenly, I heard the doorbell ring off in the distance. Shion? Reina quietly nodded to me. I bit my lip as I opened the door to my room. Then, I slowly descended the stairs while sorting out my thoughts. Step by step. Creak. The wood felt cold to the touch as it creaked underfoot. Heading down, step by step, just to be certain I'm on the right path. Steadily moving myself forward. There is no other way. Don't look back. You're on the right path. I was filled with a peculiar sense of purpose. I felt no fear. So I'll follow this path. And then I'll open the door. And our ideal future will be waiting for me on the other side.
ケイちゃん？
Hello. When I opened the front door, I found Shion gazing at me with a puzzled expression. Her eyes were open wide, like she was looking at a total stranger.
なんだか違う人みたいに見えてしまって。
Murderous intent will do that to you. Shion tried to hide her feelings behind a smile, but her unease was clear as day.
遅かったな。
すみません。出がけに変な電話があったんです。
電話？
はい。無言電話でした。かすかに息遣いのような声が聞こえたりして、気味が悪くて。
Sure you didn't just imagine it?
いたずら電話とか？
かもしれませんね。それで、いつもより念入りに戸締まりをしてたら遅くなってしまったんです。ごめんなさい。
Shion quickly bowed her head.
でもケイちゃんの顔見たらほっとしました。なんていうか緊張感のかけらもないお顔で。
Shion laughed without reservation.
えいえい、どうせ俺は緊張感のない面ですよ。
すねないでくださいよ。
Thanks to Shion, I was finally beginning to relax. However, Shion and I grew silent as we made our way up the stairs, and the oppressive atmosphere quickly returned. All the actors have assembled. Keiichi Maebara, Reina Ryugu, Shion Sonozaki. The three of us confronted one another from a safe distance, and looked over the two cards lined up before us. The first card was Hojo Teppei. Indeed, the main character of the night. Despite not being present, he was the starring role. Unbeknownst to him, his time was quickly approaching. A vision of Teppei lazing about while tormenting Satoko came to mind, and it burned in the fires of my heart. With my emotions boiling over inside me, I turned over the second card. The second card was the perfect crime. Those words had a power to them like a magic spell. This crime is necessary for us to obtain our ideal future. So there mustn't be any holes in our plan. We gathered here to put together the perfect crime.
レナね。完全犯罪についてちょっと調べてきたんだ。
As Reina said that, she pulled out a college-ruled notebook. She must have put her soul into writing down these thoughts. The paper was warped from intense writing, and some of the characters were blurry. Reina was clearly taking this seriously. You could definitely say that.
殺害方法はどんなのでもいいの。必要なのは自分が加害者であることを知られない方法。それだけに尽きるって言ってもいいと思う。
Indeed, there were many criminals out in the world struggling to conceal the truth of their crimes. But they usually ended up destroying themselves. Human beings are imperfect. If small mistakes are made here and there, some of them will line up and allow other people to put the pieces together. And that ultimately ends up casting suspicion on them.
つまりアリバイが必要だってことですね。
そうなの。だからレナたちは明日の夜綿流しに行かなくちゃならないの。
でも実際は綿流しに行かずに鉄平を殺している。
Reina responded to Shion with a deep nod.
お互いのアリバイをお互いが証明するってことだな。
私たちは明日無邪気に綿流しを楽しむ。まるで何事もなかったみたいに。
But in reality, we'll be taking Teppei Hojo's life of our own hands. Reina looked just like she did when she strangled that stuffed animal to death inside the station wagon, wearing a completely nonchalant expression on her face.
あともう一つは目撃者ですね。
多分村の人はほとんどお祭りに行くだろうから、その時間帯を狙うのが一番いいと思う。
誰も来ない場所で人知れず鉄平を殺す。
万が一ってこともあるから、なるべく短時間で仕留めないとね。
We assembled our plan to the best of our ability. This was neither a game nor a fantasy. It was reality. I needed to feel something tangible, so I dug my nails into my knees. Then a dull pan ran through my body.
これで加害者と目撃者は消えた。次は被害者の存在を消さなきゃ。
被害者の存在を消す？
被害者が存在しなければ犯罪そのものも存在しなくなる。要するに事件として成立しないってことなの。
遺体の処理ですね。
絶対に誰にも見つからない場所に隠さなきゃ。
A place where nobody will ever find it. A vision of the Onikafuchi swamp suddenly flashed before my eyes. The bottomless swamp. The perfect stage for Teppei to meet his demise.
鬼ヶ淵沼なんてどうだ？あそこなら絶対に誰にもバレないんじゃないか？
Reina frowned in response to my suggestion.
最初はレナもそう思った。けど、ケイイチ君も思ったってことは、みんなそう思うってことじゃないかな。警察も、まず鬼ヶ淵を疑うはずだよ。もしも重い腰を上げて、一斉捜索なんてされたら。
確かに、レナの言う通りだな。
遺体の移動手段も考える必要がありますね。
We poured our heart and soul into devising the plan. Tearing down earlier plans and rebuilding them from the ground up. After breaking it down and repeatedly reworking our plan, we settled on the simplest method. First, we'll invite Satoko to the festival to isolate Teppei. Then, we'll pose as a police officer and demand Teppei come to us. Teppei will probably head out on his motorcycle. There is only one road leading out of town from Satoko's house, and has no streetlights. This is just like Keiichi's plan from Chapter 3. We'll set up an ambush in the dark by hanging a black rope over the road. Once Teppei shows up on his motorcycle, Reina and Shion will pull on the ends of the rope. Teppei will fall off of his bike. Then I'll swiftly move in to deliver the killing blow. Even though I asked Reina and Shion for their cooperation, I wanted to carry out the actual murder myself. I felt like it was my duty to keep the two of them from becoming murderers. Even if they are not the ones that do the actual killing, the fact that they are taking part in this at all, by definition, makes them accomplices. So, yeah, murderers. All of you. At first, the two of them frowned at my suggestion, but I eventually managed to get through to them, and they were willing to leave everything to me. After the murder, the three of us will carry the corpse and bury it in a hole that we prepared in advance. Shion will drive the motorcycle into Onikafuchi swamp, and Reina will dispose of the murder weapon.
残るは凶器だな。
We all fell silent once again, overwhelmed by the fact that we were on the verge of killing a man. Then, I started staring down at the hand that would be holding the hypothetical murder weapon. It didn't feel real. But oddly enough, my heart didn't feel agitated. It was the peace of mind from not being alone, and a diluted sense of guilt due to not being alone. We stared each other down to evaluate everyone's convictions.
ナイフとか包丁は手に入りやすいけど、返り血を浴びると思うし、避けた方がいいと思うな。
それじゃあ、ロープで首を絞めるのは？
もしも暴れられたり、逃げられたら、リスクが大きいよ。
それじゃあ、他に何がある？
I moved closer to Reina as I asked that. Reina looked up at the ceiling, searching for an answer. I don't like that laugh. At all. The next moment, Shion's shoulders began to tremble. Is she crying? Shion suddenly broke into a laugh.
しーちゃん？
どうしたんだ、シオン。
私、いいこと思いついてしまいました。
いいこと？
あいつの息の根を止めるのにふさわしい凶器です。バットです。サトシ君のバットです。
Now, Shion, do you really want to defile Satoshi's beloved bat with that man's blood?
これでサトシ君の恨みを晴らすことができます。そう思ったらおかしくって。
I mean, I do understand the logic, though, and it is deliciously ironic, but still.
ざまあみろですよ。
Shion kept on laughing as tears began spilling out. I suddenly began to shiver. You too, Reina?
本当だ。おかしいね。あの男が苦しんで転がり回ってもがいて助けをこうて、それを上から見下ろすなんて最高にいい気分だね。ざまあみろだ。ケイちゃんも一緒に笑いましょう。
Is that good enough?
そうだよ。あの男が死ぬのは喜ばしいことなんだよ。ほら、笑ってください、ケイちゃん。
I mean, if it wasn't for the look, if it wasn't for the fact that we are the ones who are committing the murder, I would agree. His death would be a joyous occasion.
ケイチ君、笑って。
But we're still killing a man. A heinous man, but still a man.
笑って。笑って。
I let out a deep laugh from the bottom of my gut. Despite our current situation, I roared with laughter. Once Teppei is gone, Satoko will be happy again. That thought was so hilarious I couldn't help myself. Just laughing and laughing. A single teardrop escaped me for some reason. Suddenly, a lifeless sound brought me back to reality. I gently wiped my tears away before anyone could notice, then got up and left the room. After opening the door of my room, I was surrounded by the lukewarm air of the house and its distinct smell. It filled me with a cozy, nostalgic sensation. My normal, everyday life in this house, and a single corpse, will both undoubtedly disappear from this world tomorrow.
もしもし。もしもし、どちら様ですか？
I could hear someone breathing softly on the other end of the phone. Hey! It's the person who called Shion.
もしもし？いたずら電話なら切りますよ。もしも。
The caller hung up without making a sound. I felt a nagging discomfort as I hung up the receiver. Then I turned on my heels and started heading back to my room. Once again, the telephone started ringing. I hesitated for a moment before putting my hand on the receiver. I didn't say anything, and tried my best to discern the identity of the caller. Mion?
Kei-chan.
My concerns immediately vanished. It was Mion's voice.
ミオンか？
ケイちゃん？
お前、さっき電話かけたか？
かけてないけど。 どうかしたの？
いや、なんでもない。お前こそなんだよ。何かあったのか？
ケイちゃん、ちょっと変だよ。そっちこそ何かあったんじゃない？
別に何もないぞ。
ならいいけど、明日のことでちょっとね。
明日？
お祭りのこと。
祭りか。
本当に変なんだけど、大丈夫？
ああ、寝起きだからさ。頭がうまく回転してないんだ。
なんだ、寝てたんだ。
いい感じで爆睡してたよ。ミオンに起こされるまではな。
ごめん。
I had to carefully choose my responses one word at a time to avoid making Mion suspicious. I think she already is.
でさ、明日お祭り来るでしょ？
一応行くつもりだけど。
けど、何？
いや、ちゃんと行くって。レナと一緒に行く約束してるからさ。
へえ、レナと一緒なんだ。
I could picture the sorrowful look in Mion's eyes on the other end of the phone. The loneliness of believing that your friends left you out. I knew that feeling. So I tried to find the words to make things right.
ミオンももちろん行くだろ？現地で合流しようぜ。
そうだね。ケイちゃん一人だったらって心配だったんだけど、レナと一緒なら安心だね。
それってどういう意味だ？
ごめん、なんでもない。もう切らなくちゃ。それじゃあ明日ね。おやすみ。
Mion hung up the phone without waiting for an answer. My stomach twisted as I sat down the receiver. If I'm with Reina, I'll put Mion's heart at ease. I was consumed by inexplicable insecurity as I pondered the meaning of those words. Not wanting to be bogged down by those thoughts, I made my way back up the stairs toward my room, but I stopped myself before reaching the second floor. The door should have been closed, but it was open. The light from my room illuminated the dimly lit hallway, casting two shadows on the wall. But the two shadows quickly disappeared back into the room, as though they sensed my presence. Were they listening to my phone call? Probably. They followed behind me and concealed their breathing, so they could keep an eye on me. Why? We'd already come to an agreement to protect each other's secrets. So, Reina and Shion were hiding behind the scenes, watching me to make sure I didn't leak any secrets? Could that be what the two of them were doing? Reina, Shion, and I. The three of us shared a firm, intricately intertwined bond. It'll stay with us the rest of our lives. Even if it rusts and fades, our bond will last until we die. But somehow, it felt like the two of them were drifting farther and farther away. When I returned to my room, Reina and Shion welcomed me back as if nothing had happened. Seeing the smiles on their faces only made me feel more anxious.
電話、誰からだったのかな？
なんでそんなこと聞くんだ？
気になっただけだよ。ケイチくん、なんだか怖い顔してる。
That's because you guys were spying on me. Hypocrite!
ケイチくん、私たちに隠し事してないかな？
隠し事なんかしてないぞ。お前らの方こそ、俺に隠れてこそこそ何してやがった？
I asked that in exasperation, but Reina just bit her lip and refused to answer. However, Shion stepped forward and pointed a challenging gaze at me.
一体何が言いたいのですか？
とぼけんなよ。お前ら、さっきの電話に聞き耳立てていただろ。
聞き耳？ずいぶん人聞きの悪いこと言うんですね。 まさか誰かに入れ知恵でもされたんですか？
なんだそれは。言いがかりかよ。
圭一くん、やっぱりおじけづいたんだ。
Ran muttered those words, then looked up at me with doubt in her eyes.
裏切る気なんだ。圭一くん、誰かに告げ口してたんだ。
Jesus Christ, at the rate things are going, we're gonna end up killing each other before we even get close to Tepe.
はあ？どうしてそうなるんだ？
陥れる気だったんだ。ずっと騙してた。味方のふりして、偽善者ずらして。汚い、汚い、汚い、汚い！
Reina's illusions were taking a leap too far. The rage burning inside her left me stunned.
うまく出し抜いたと思ってるの？かわいそう。かわいそうな圭一くん。圭一くんは悪い子。邪悪で不潔。
Well, so are you two, at this point.
罰が当たるよ。お社様の罰が当たるよ。
Her low-pitched laughter sounded like feet scraping along the floor. Reina flashed a death glare in my direction, and rose to her feet as I stood there in bewilderment. Then she moved closer to me, closing in on her prey.
誰？さっきの電話は誰？
Reina opened her eyes wide, with a bloodthirsty expression. I instinctively turned around to try and escape, but Shion was standing behind me to cut me off.
なんなんだお前ら。
まさかさっきの電話、ひょっとしてお姉からじゃないですか？
みーちゃんが？どうしてなの？
レナさんは黙っててください。
Shion shut Reina down with an intense glare, then approached me.
お姉に何を喋ったんです？
別に何も喋ってないぞ。お祭りに行くかって聞かれただけだよ。
本当にそれだけですか？
I fiercely nodded my head.
信じていいんですね。
俺は何一つやましいことはしてない。お前らこそ信じていいのかよ。
Our eyes crossed as we tried to evaluate each other's convictions. Reina and Shion lightly nodded their heads. But was that a nod of agreement, or a solemn act of resignation? It's not the kind of thing that would tear apart our friendship, right? We need to stand together in our mission to help Satoko. We were shivering from the excitement, tension, and fear of being on the verge of carrying out a murder. That had all of us feeling especially nervous, so we were suspecting each other more than necessary. In the meantime, I decided it would be better to calm down and steady my breathing.
それにしてもどうして今頃、私たちがここに集まっていることを知っているみたいに。お姉のことだから、何か気づいているのかも。
考えすぎじゃないか？まさかミオンだって、千里眼は持ってないだろう。
でも、お姉の目は二つだけじゃないんですよ。
第三の目でも、おでこに隠してるってのか？漫画の読みすぎだろ
う。第三どころか、少なくとも100近くの目を持ってますよ。
なんだそれは。ミオンは化け物か？
前にも言ったはずです。ここはひなみ沢なんです。
つまり、ミオン本人だけじゃない。村人全員に注意しろってことか。
明日の夜、すべてが終わってからも、しばらくは気をつけた方がいいと思います。
そうだな。
レナ、ちょっと思ったんだけど。
After finally regaining her composure, Reina timidly interrupted when she saw the look on Shion's face.
みーちゃんなら、計画のことを話してもいいんじゃないかな。
On one hand, I want you guys to say something to Mion just so she could be in a position to put a stop to you guys from doing something crazy. But on the other hand, I'm worried that if you do, and you realize that she won't be on board with your plan, that you'll end up killing her too, to keep her quiet. So, I honestly don't know what I want you guys to do here regarding Mion. Well, then again, maybe she can get away from you guys if you tried to kill her. She's resourceful.
絶対ダメです。
でもみーちゃんだってさとこちゃんのことすごく心配してるし、分かってくれると思うよ。
いくら仲間だからってお姉は市場に流されたりしません。あれでも園崎家の当主ですから。里子を阻害する村の連中と同じだと思った方がいいですよ。いえ、それ以上かも。最も計画を気取られてはいけない人物だと思ってください。お姉に知れたら全てが失敗に終わります。
I think the word you're looking for is apart, not part. As Reina listened to that explanation, her quiet breathing ceased, and she once again began to tense up. And then, she started trembling so intently that it was tearing into the tatami mats.
邪魔するやつ、レナは絶対許さない。絶対許さない。許さない。許さない。
Even if it's the very people that you want to protect your future with, Mion included. No matter what happens, we can't let this plan fail. Even if that means betraying one of my old friends. We all stared each other down, engraving our thoughts into each other's hearts. After a while, Shion picked up the notebook we casually set down. Then,
これを始末しなくてはいけませんね。
we nodded in agreement, then headed to the parlor. There was a huge ashtray on the table, covered in dust. Reina remained expressionless as she tore the notebook apart. That page flip sound effect sounds exactly like the same one I hear in Sun Hill 2. Then, Shion took the pieces that fell out and cut them into even smaller pieces. I gathered the scraps and piled them on top of the ashtray, then grabbed a match. What did you do? Put a bunch of lighter fuel on it first? It sounds a lot more intense than just a little ashtray fire. A single plume of smoke released as a small, pale flame began to burn. The flames sizzled as they spread, covering the white pages in black. We sat there silently, with our hearts crackling full of burning hot murderous intent. I held my breath and watched as the flames slowly turned to ash. This was all for our ideal future. That was all we could think about. Once the flames burned out, all that remained was a pile of murky black ashes. Almost like the embodiment of the spirit of doubt that none of us could shake off. Shion slowly poured water over the ashtray to extinguish any lasting embers. The dice had been thrown. Murder is the only option. I returned to my room alone after Reina and Shion went home and tried to get some sleep. The insomnia I had been suffering for the past few days continued. But starting tomorrow, my nights will no longer be haunted by these depressing thoughts. Hate to be the bearer of bad news for you, but they won't stop. I clenched my fist. I could feel the sensation of gripping a bat throughout my entire body. With these hands, I'm going to kill him. When I held my hand up to the darkness, it seemed like I caught a glimpse of the future in the dazzling lights coming in through the gaps between my fingers. And so, My entire body tasted a sensation that I had never felt before. That fateful morning, I awakened to the sound of the fireworks that signified the opening of the festival. Actually, you know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and cut things off here, because I'm going to assume that the next episode will probably encompass the finale of this arc. And I don't know for sure how long that will take. But I will assume it'll probably be at least another hour. So yeah. It's almost time, guys. Hold on to your butts, because it's going to be one hell of a ride. Again. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of the Higurashi Win and Cry console arcs. If you did and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I will see you all next time. Take care.